I am a warrior. I'm just a woman, a teacher, a mother, and a daughter. A warrior in verses, recited in sympathetic arenas, a packed house full of friends. No need to sell tickets or check them in because just like me, you are all warriors seeking the same. On the front line every day, waiting for the pool to blow to signal the return home. But I'm just a woman, a teacher, a mother, and a daughter. I am a warrior.
One of the hardest things to do is talk about money. Nobody likes talking about it. It's kind of like a taboo subject. It's often none of your business, none of anybody else's business. We just don't share any of that. So I'm going to try and make it as comfortable as possible so that we can learn together. All right, let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name's Helen Y. That's my married name. My maiden name is Pelikai. From Nanakuli, still reside out in Nanakuli. Graduated from Nanakuli High School. I've been a consultant for about a decade. I do a variety of work and for quite a bit of different companies that contract me. I do a lot of financial literacy. I do also home buyer education, what we call lease cancellation. My specialty is on the Department of Hawaiian Homelands. I do a lot of work for them. I also do work for other organizations. And I've also done some work across the nations. I've worked with the Alaska Natives in Anchorage, and I went as far as Petoskey, Michigan to work with some Native Americans. So I've had the ability to travel quite a bit and do a lot of this type of work. Okay, so how are you feeling? Are you living in constant fear or panic over your finances? Do you have intense sadness? Or maybe even, do you feel sluggish? This could be a few of the signs that you could have that disorder called M.A.D, or money anxiety disorder. There's actually an actual name that they have attached to it. Again, it's M.A.D, or money anxiety disorder. So let's go look through some of these things. Quick survey. Who manages the money? You? Who manages their own money? Okay. Is it someone else who does it for you? Okay. How confident do you feel about your finances? Do you feel you need to increase your confidence? There's some room to learn, maybe understand what you're doing or what someone else is doing with the money. Do you feel okay with it, or maybe you feel very confident? Which one fits you? Next one, do you worry about your finances? Some of us, absolutely. That's what keeps us up at night. Others, they might say, oh, no, I don't worry about it because someone else takes care of it for me, or I just don't open my mail or answer my phone calls. Then I don't have to deal with it, or just keep changing my number. That might be one of the best ways, often is what I hear. Are you willing to try something new? Okay, often we're doing what we know is best, but there could be other ways of doing it. However, what that means, we need to change. And sometimes with change, it's not comfortable. It's not an easy thing to do because we've done it this way for so long that why would I want to do it another way? And I find that the only time we're willing to do it a different way is when we get to a point where we realize the way we've been doing it just doesn't work anymore. Especially if you went from maybe being married to a single parent, or being single again. Or if you went from being married to a widow, then you don't have your partner there who might have taken care of the finances, or you might have been the one taking care of the finances, but you don't have that extra income. So now it's, how do I still feed everybody off of one less income? So let's get a couple of facts down. First of all, according to the American Psychology Association survey done in 2008, they found that 80% of the people who responded said that financial crisis was causing a significant amount of stress. That was in 2008. That was just the beginning of the recession. Do you think people are feeling worse or better now that we're in 2012? Probably worse, because didn't really get any much better. Okay, in 2007, when they did that same survey, at that time, only 66% of the people felt that way. I would probably guess that you're talking almost close to about 90% of people feel way more stressed out in 2012 than they did back when they did the first survey in 07 and again in 08. Second fact is that anxiety over money has produced a new ailment that is affecting a large part of the population, particularly women. Okay, women. And they have a name for this. The name for this is money anxiety disorder. That's the name of it, or what you might see as M.A.D. That's this new ailment that's happening, and that they're finding a lot of women are having those symptoms. You know, they're coming in feeling a certain way. So here are the symptoms. If you have an overall sense of fear or dread thinking about money. Second one, you're in a panic about your husband or your job security and income. That's another one. Third, you have a constant fear that your financial safety net, retirement and emergency savings will disappear forever. Next one, there's a feeling of confusion, anxiety, and shame about your lack of financial knowledge and awareness. 5, you feel angry about the lack of communication between you and your partner regarding your personal finances. Often that's we start to talk about, and then it ends up in a heated conversation, I guess. It's true, yeah. And final one is all financial decisions between you and your partner quickly turn into arguments. Sometimes when there's just one person managing the money in a family, especially if you're in a relationship, the other person might not really have a clear understanding what the true cost of everything is. They might just feel that, hey, here, honey, here's my check, cover everything. Don't forget, I need like $200. That could leave you at $600, but that's not enough to cover everything. And when you try to sit and talk with your partner, they don't want to talk about it. And it's difficult for them because that means they have to give up part of their $200. Or they already felt like, I gave up my $200. And you sit and they're like, I don't want to deal with it. You just deal with it. And that puts a huge strain on the relationship, because often there could be that there's just not enough coming in for what needs to go out. Or there is more than enough. We just don't know where is it going. We don't know who's spending it, how it's being spent. Or it could be that both of you could be using the same account, swiping your debit card. No one's telling the other one. Went to a machine that was in your bank and took the $40 out, but you got charged all these extra fees, and then it's hard to balance the account. So that's where there becomes a huge amount of stress on the relationship. So another fact. Is this going backwards? Stress on rise of women. So they're finding, again, in this survey, women are being impacted the most. In general, women are not the major breadwinners. Okay, they are caregivers, or they're concerned about their well-being. And often you'll find that some of them might be single parents with only one income. Or it could be where maybe your spouse is in construction and construction's slow and they exhausted their unemployment, no work. Even if you went back to work, your earning ability might not be as great as your spouse's ability. And that becomes a huge strain on the relationship. You used all your savings already. You tapped into your parents and your friends to help carry you through, that there's just not much resources left to assist you. Okay, another fact, when you're talking between stress and gender, some of the physical and emotional symptoms: headaches, feeling as though that you could cry just like on the drop of the pen, this huge emotional roller coaster. The other one, having an upset stomach or indigestion because of your worriness. Sometimes internally we might be worrying, but not externally, and not sharing it with others or saying anything, but our body's feeling that toll of that weight that we're experiencing. One study showed that women were far more likely to buy something without needing it. 36% of the women said they would versus 18% of the men. They would buy something because it's on sale. 24% of the women said they would. 5% of the men said they would buy because it's on sale. Next one, shop impulsively. 36% of the women said they do that, and only 18% of the men. They shop to celebrate someone's birthday, the holidays, something's going on, and they're shopping to celebrate. Again, you can see the number, huge difference between women and men. Study also showed that men spend more money, however, okay? The men spend more money than women on many things, including eating out, drinking, sports ticket, consumer electronics, and cars. Those are the things men tend to spend way more money than women on. So let's take a quick quiz. And you can find it in here on your handout. What is the number one reason for divorce? What would you guys guess? A? Would you agree? The answer is D. Number one reason for divorce is infidelity. Finances is actually number 3. Interesting, yeah? You would think it would be number 1. Okay. Second question. Who typically earns more money, men or women? What's your guess? Men or women? Study has shown men. Men typically earn more money than women. Also, we as women normally will not work in our career or field as long as men because we're having children or raising our children. So often we're out of that work field for a few years compared to men. Okay. Who often feels insecure about their ability to completely understand financial issues, men or women? Let's see. The answer is women.
I was going to say I don't feel that way, but I guess it's
Yeah, the answer is women. And it could actually be incorrect for your relationship. You know, everybody's different, but studies have shown that it's the women. And I think in probably here in the States, more of us women take care of the money than the men, from what I've seen. More women take care of the money. Men are typically the ones from I've seen, the one that go out and bring them the paycheck or the bacon. And then they give it to the wives and say, okay, honey, put your sprinkled dust, fairy dust in there and multiply it.
like it's their job.
Like it's their job, yeah. Okay, I earned it now, honey, you need to double it. How am I supposed to do that? Oh, wait, but I need my beer money too. Now my poo-poo and got Super Bowl on Sunday, right? It's all these kind of things that, hold on a second. If I give you all of that, I don't know how we're going to turn on the lights next month. But maybe I might win at Super Bowl. Then maybe have the lights on for 3 months. You guys heard those comments, right? It's that kind of stuff. This is the end. Number 4, who feels a greater need of financial stability with a savings account, men or women? The answer is women. Yeah. Women feel more safe having that. Why? Because, you know, if rainy day, if there's a flat tire, if the car don't start, how is my husband supposed to go to work? Those kind of things where women just have that security knowing that they have some extra cushion. Okay? All right. So what can we do? What can we do about this whole thing? Well, we need to first of all figure out how do we empower ourselves? How do we empower ourselves as women to take control of our money? That's what we need to do. You know, we need to think about what happens if one day my husband isn't here. Am I going to be able to pay the rent, the mortgage? Am I going to be able to keep the lights on, put food on the table? Is all the accounts just under my husband? You know, do I know what bills to pay when? Or what happens to you? Does your husband know how to do those things? Does your husband know what's on automatic payment? That if something happened, he might not know that it comes out every 5th, but honey, you got to put the check in before the 5th for the electric bill to be paid, or those kind of things. If something happens to you, does your husband know where to look? Or do you know? All those things. Hi, here you go. No problem. So again, part of it is that we as women need to take control of the money, not meaning don't let your husband do it, but we need to feel a part of it. First thing you want to do is think about a family budget. There's lots of resources online. You can get it in even a book. You know, budgets can be complicated or they can be simple. It's really up to you which one you select and how you want to do it. Some people will do very complicated budgets down to the penny and all these spreadsheets and pie charts. It doesn't have to be that complicated. I would suggest that you just make a list of, I have whatever, $1,000 a month, and I need to pay for this, 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 this. After I pay for all of these, this is how much I got left. Don't forget, you still got to buy toilet paper. You still got to buy shampoo. You need to still put some gas in your car, save some money, get life insurance if that's very important to you. Factor all those things in. Don't make it more complicated than it needs to be. The other important thing too is that if you do have children, you want to include them in this conversation. Whether they're quite young or older, you want to sit down with them and say, hey, this is how much money's coming in. This is how much all these things cost, okay? So that they have some kind of understanding of what's going on. And I also believe that then they'll be able to help you when you're trying to move in this one direction. But it needs to start at a place where we're comfortable talking about money. So you also want to figure out where's your money going. One way to do that is track your spending. Maybe when you go home today sometime, think about what you spent for the past 7 days. Starting with yesterday. Okay, starting with yesterday. Okay, what did I spend on Friday? And you start from the morning. Okay, I got up. Did I eat breakfast at home? Did I get lunch? Think back the past 7 days. Make a list of what those items were and what was the total that you spent. Then look at that list and circle only the items you felt you didn't need to spend. Take that total, multiply it by 52, and the reason for 52 is because there's 52 weeks in a year. So if every day you bought a plate lunch that was $10, Monday through Friday while you were at work, that's 50 bucks. Take that $50, you times it by 52. This is how much money you're spending in a full year. The reason 52 is because there's 52 weeks. Okay, that's one way of doing it. The other way that you could do it also is get yourself a small spiral notebook, those pocket spiral notebooks, like about 50 cents. And as you spend your money, as soon as you finish, hand it over or swipe your card, you take that spiral notebook out, open it up, write down the date, the place you spent it, why did you buy it? Was it for breakfast? Was it for school? Was it household items, gas, whatever it might be, and the total. Okay? Do that for 30 days, 30 straight days. I'll be very honest with you. It's going to be fun for about the first week. After that, it's going to be torture. And the reason why it's going to be torture is because it's accountability now. It's accountability. Okay? Now you see where everything is going. So you're going to have to wait now. Do I really want to spend it there? Because you're keeping track of what you're doing. At the end of the 30 days, add it all up by categories, go back to your budget, and see if that total was close to what you estimated. So for example, if you said, okay, I'm going to budget $300 a month on food, and then you track your spending for 30 days and you add it all up, and it's like, oh, wait, I spent $400. Wow. Okay, where did I get this other 100? It had to have come from somewhere, especially if I'm running a real tight ship. So the money's coming somewhere, or am I just putting it on credit, or am I not paying a bill in full and paying it partial so that I can have that extra money to carry myself over? Okay, so that would be the other thing I would suggest. Again, track your spending, put it on a small notebook that you can just write down the date, the place, the reason you spent the amount. After 30 days, add it up by category, go back and look at your budget sheet to see how close or far you are from it. Okay, envelope system. Any of you ever heard of an envelope system? Okay, the way the envelope system works is that you will use different envelopes. It doesn't have to be any fancy one. It can be the one your bill came in. All right, and when you do the budget, you are then going to take it to the next step and use cash and put it in these different envelopes for different categories. So going back to the food, if you're going to say, okay, I'm going to spend $300 a month on food, and you get paid twice in a month, and you get paid on the 5th and the 20th, when it's the 5th, you go and put $150 in that envelope in cash, preferably a nice $100 bill and a $50 bill. And your next pay period, you do the same thing. Then you go grocery shopping, and all you use is that envelope and that cash. You will guarantee stay within your budget. But it's when you're shopping and you don't have an amount and you're not using cash, then you end up throwing things in the shopping cart. You get to the cashier and she tells you the bill is $200, and you're not going to embarrass yourself and tell her, can you put half of them back? You're going to pay for it, and on your way out, you think, okay, what? I'm not going to pay the whole electric bill. Maybe I'm going to pay half. I'm not going to pay my cell phone this month because I got something got to give and take. Okay, so using the envelope system is really about separating your items that are on your budget and putting cash in it, and stick to just that envelope. So if you got to go buy household items, toilet paper, laundry soap, toothpaste, shampoo, deodorant, all those things, and it costs you $100 a month, you put $100 in one envelope and put household. When you go to Costco or Walmart and you got to buy those things, it comes out of that money envelope. You got to buy food, it comes out of this envelope. You're separating your money, which is something people did a long time ago. It's not no new concept. It was done a long time ago. It's just that, again, convenience. Convenience is no planning. Don't do any budget. That's convenience. Convenience is going in the store and not knowing how much I got to spend that I should be spending. Or what am I buying? What are my meals for the month? We're just buying and going day by day, and that's so easy for you to overspend. So that's the envelope system, okay? Again, it's about putting cash in it. Try your best not to borrow from any envelope. No borrowing, okay? It's going to take you a couple months to really fine-tune if that amount is the correct amount. Maybe $300 a month for food is just not enough. And it's not because you're eating more, it just costs more. Okay? Credit, very important thing. You need to know what your credit score is. And you have it on your handout there. There's a website that you can go to, annualcreditreport.com, and you can request for one free credit report from each of the 3 credit bureau agencies once every 12 months. When you go through that, it's going to ask you, do you want your score? If you want your score, there is a fee for it. I would probably say if you don't really need it, don't pay for it. Just get the report so you can see what the information is on there. It's very important that you also get your own separate credit than your spouse, because there's a lot of things we might be going joint on, but you might want to get something just under you, just by yourself, okay? So again, and you want to check it once a year. Debit card, we talk about this, writing it down. There's some banks that will give you even a small savings account booklet, small like the size of a debit card. So if you don't like carrying a big register, just ask for the small savings so you can write it down. It's convenient, put it in your wallet, and you can keep track of it. Checking account, that's the other one too that you want to balance down to the penny. Nowadays, we can go online and do it, so it's real easy. Okay, very, very easy. We can do it all sorts of times. Credit cards, you want to make sure that if you do have these, understand if there's any type of annual fee, what the late fee is, all those other types of fees. And also with that, this is something where you might want to have one separate. You and your husband might have a joint credit card, but you might want one just for you also. You guys have a great afternoon. Turn it in your evaluation sheet, and thank you. Thank you.
Iha e ha e ko mo i le